Hey guys, it's David here, and it's currently day 241. I hope you guys had a good day and are doing better than yesterday. But the time is currently 5:33. So, got up a bit earlier today because this is normally when I want to wake up. Now, last night I had a good sleep. I actually slept, so I'm actually pretty excited with the day. That means I'll be full of energy, full of power. So, very, very keen to see how the day goes. But that being said, today is Thursday, so nothing really special today. But there's a lot of things I do want to get done. I want to learn more about code. I want to go to the gym, and I just want to see how I can perform today. So that being said, the day is still young, but let's get the day started right now and not waste a minute. Hey guys, it is currently 6:26. So about to head to the gym now, and I have chest, triceps, and shoulders. So a pretty big load today for working out, but I am going to go lighter on the chest because I do think it is a bit overtrained. So I gotta find the optimal range for training because you can definitely overdo it much easier than mental fatigue. That is something I realized. Mental fatigue takes a longer time to build up, and you can do a lot more to the mind than the body. But the body, guys, it has a limit, and you have to go slow with the body. You can definitely overtrain your body much faster than your mind, and that is something I had found through experience. But definitely, both can be overtrained, both can be overworked, and both can be burned out. So you just have to find out which level you are at, and you just have to adjust accordingly. That doesn't mean you should just don't do anything because you're tired, but rather reassess and assess your whole week, your whole month, and how you have been feeling for the past 3 months. If that symptom was a buildup of extra stress, extra work, just a lot of burden and anxiety, then of course you may be burned out. Then of course you may be overtrained. But if the last 3 months you were on holidays, enjoying yourself, going to the beach, getting a suntan, and you just came back from your holiday and you don't want to do work, then it would be pretty wise to say that you're not burned out. You're still adjusting to the lifestyle. But definitely burning out and overtraining cannot just be assessed in the days of effort. It has to be assessed throughout your whole week, your month, through a long period of time. So this is why it is important to keep track of how you perform, how you feel to a day-to-day basis. So this is why it's important to track your day-to-day performance, your weekly performance, and most importantly, monthly. So you have data to back out whether you are overtrained or not, whether you are overworked or not. Because without data, you're really just shooting blindlessly. And like we all know, that never ends well. And if we shoot blindlessly, then we make predictions and we make judgments based on flawed data, which is something you don't want to do because knowing the difference between burnout and laziness will save you a lot of time, a lot of energy, and most importantly, it will be very beneficial for your mental health. That being said, I'm gonna go to the gym now and I'll see you guys in a bit. So it is 9:03. Just came back from the gym, and today's workout I would say is a bit weird because I'm pushing my hardest, but then I'm not seeing new progress. My weight's not going up, nor was my repetitions. So it pretty much means I have hit a plateau. However, it's only been a day since this happened, so I can't just say that I need to change things. I don't have to readjust my schedule. And I do believe fatigue has played a role into my performance today. Now, I say this because lately I have been seeing a pattern of me going up and down, and sometimes the only chances of me actually performing better at the gym was either resting good or doing less work. So, what does this mean to me? This means that fatigue is slowly building up. So, what I would do when fatigue is too much, or that when fatigue actually plays a role into our performance, is I actually switch up the task I do. So instead of hitting my head at a brick wall, not actually moving anywhere, I still do the work, but I do something different. For example, if I'm working out, instead of doing bench press and I haven't seen my results going up, I'll do dumbbell chest press. It's still working the chest, but I'm doing something different. I'm doing a different exercise, which then stimulates a different part of the muscle. And this goes to show with working too on your project, on your habits, or on your purpose. Instead of hitting your head at this problem you're trying to solve and you can't overcome it, why don't you do something else? Why don't you work into a different area of your business, into a different area of your schoolwork?
Instead of reading an essay, why don't you write something? Why don't you watch a video, or vice versa? Because when we hit a brick wall, the thing is, of course, we have to push through this initial resistance of change. However, if we can push through resistance of change, and we have done hard things before, which I believe all of us have. So if we can do hard things before, then the times when we are tired, the times when we are sluggish and fatigued, then maybe we have to really question ourselves. Maybe that I am actually not lazy and that I just have too much fatigue. And maybe it is time to reassess my routines, reassess my goals, and reassess my schedules to see how can I move forward today while not backing out. How can I still progress in my self-improvement journey while not just saying I can't do this anymore because I'm tired or I procrastinate and self-label these identities onto us when they're simply not true, because we all have done hard work, whether it's working a 9 to 5 job, whether it's doing a uni degree, whether it's just living life taking care of people. That is all hard work. So don't tell yourself that you can't do hard work just because you have fatigue that you haven't realized that has built up over a long period of time. See, a lot of us have this fatigue, this chronicle excess fatigue that we don't realize because we just blame it onto laziness, onto procrastination, onto that I don't have the skills to do certain tasks. But that's just not true, guys. So a lot of us really have to sit down and question ourselves, see in the back of our lives a pattern that may have formed that have caused us to feel so bad about ourselves, to feel so down and sad every day. Because once you realize this, you don't have to actually back out. You can still move forward today, doing what you love, doing what you know will put you one step forward than yesterday. But first, you have to understand what is it that you can do that won't make you feel more run down than you are now, but also that can actually put you one step forward. And I believe this is a question a lot of us have to ask ourselves, and this is something a lot of us have to focus. Because if you're tired, if you are especially just doing nothing day to day, finding yourself unproductive, unmotivated, then you sure should question yourself. Maybe I had just gone through life with just too much excess fatigue that I haven't yet established and actually found a solution to this. But that being said, you cannot push hard without fueling your body with the right nutrition. So I'm gonna go downstairs and have some oats and chicken, and I'll be back with you guys in 3 hours after I do my first work block.
6:07. Now, for the past quite a while now, actually, I didn't record because after the first work block, I was very frustrated with the work I was doing because honestly, guys, I was stuck at this problem and I feel kind of, I guess, dumb. I feel dumb for not really understanding how to read algorithms and how to actually work JavaScript, which is like a coding language for codes. And I guess that just really bothered me because I just found myself dumbfounded. Like, how do I not understand these questions? How can I not put together things? Like, I feel like my mind is not working. And I guess we shouldn't feel that way. Although we come across a challenge, we should definitely not view them as a threat to our capacity or our intellect. We shouldn't view these as barriers that we can't overcross, but rather a challenge that we are grateful to have, because then this will test our mental capacity. This will test our intellect so we can become better. I guess really understanding this and telling you this in times of like these hard times is very important, because understanding this and actually trying to figure out a way to overcome this will differ you from those people who scratch their head in frustration and give up because they just can't overcome the single problem. So I guess I am still adapting to this change. I am still getting comfortable from being uncomfortable every single day. And I guess learning coding, especially guys, has definitely tested myself. Not only physically, not only on my character basis, but on my cognitive skills. Because to be honest, guys, learning anything is hard. But what is also more difficult is trying to read something that you have no idea how to read. It's like learning a new language that you have no teacher guiding you, but just textbooks in a dictionary. I guess this really tests someone's capabilities to take hardship, to take burdens, to take unnecessary uncomfortabilities. Because This is not necessary, but I choose to do it because I want to become better and I want to be better myself than yesterday. So that being said, today I only managed to do 3 hours of work. That is, of course, coding alone. I did some reading, but overall, not enough work. So what I plan to do is after I have dinner, which will be very soon, I'm going to try to do 2 to 3 hours of more work before bedtime, before I wind down. So 3 hours is what I want to aim at. Well, that will leave me to about 10 hours of work today, but 2 hours will do just fine. However, I do want to have some time to wind down before sleep. Otherwise, my sleep will get affected. Now you guys may say, well, this optimal stuff isn't necessary. If you really want to run your passion, then you should just work throughout the midnight. And of course, times like these will come. But what is more important is to really optimize your day and your routine so you perform better than yesterday. Because I have worked overnight, I have worked into the midnights, and sure, they were great. But if you fail to sleep, if you fail to actually recover, then the next day will suffer. So you're pretty much buying today's time for tomorrow's. So you gotta think smart about it. I can work and work, but your body and mind can really only handle to a certain degree before it refuses to learn, before it refuses to take in new information. Of course, that limit, that extreme, is far beyond what we had imagined because we are so capable of more. And that is so individualized. And of course, with each time, you will develop that mind. You will develop your willpower, your discipline. And that takes time. But for you to find that, you have to first start with a fresh mind. You have to first start without fatigue. Well, minimum at least. Because we can be misconcepted with having a lot of fatigue, and sometimes we'll do work, try to test out extremes, and be burned out after like 2 hours. And we'll think that's our limit, when simply that isn't true. We are so more capable of doing more if we just have some time to recover. And no, it's not going backwards. Sometimes taking a step back means taking 10 steps forward. And I mean 10 steps forward because if you can strategize your day, if you can plan out your rest and recovery to optimize your performance, then it is not taking 2 steps forwards, but 10 steps forward. So that is something I believe all of us should take into consideration because we are not tired, we are not lazy, and we are not procrastinating by nature. We do these things because life has drained us to a degree that we are unaware of. So figure out exactly what is sucking this life force away and try to prioritize your day and prioritize what is important for you to then excel and give everything you can to this task, to this goal. Because at the end of the day, guys, work is important. Taking care of family is important. And feeding people is important. But what is most important as an individual to have fulfillment in life is to have purpose and is to reach that purpose. But that purpose is so much times clouded because of fatigue, because of our uncertainty of life. And having that uncertainty will hinder our great potential. So the only way then to actually find that potential is to start with clarity, start with a minimum fatigue and go seek for your purpose. That being said, I am going to go fight for my purpose now. So I hope you guys had learned something from this, but if not, like always, I'll be here for you guys tomorrow. Until then, good night.